And at 10, Purple Guy at Pride Parade. Purple Guy at Pride Parade is one of the first collections that I saw underneath Daco's Twitter thread for FNAF Dolly images, okay? Now, I'd have made one myself, but nobody follows me on Twitter at Centimeter Monroe if you want to follow me, but that's aside the point, okay? The concept behind this amalgam is seemingly take a pic of a shirtless guy at a Pride Parade, turn him purple, then add the lowest polygon video game face imaginable, and then make that red, and then add terrifying eyes. That's how I see this one. It's absolutely hilarious, but also terrifying in the best ways for both, okay? It's like Hannah Montana came out here singing Best of Both Worlds, and Afton was just like, hell yeah, party in the USA. But at one point, at the bottom in the center, I think it was, they censor his junk with a pride flag, and I find that absolutely hilarious. I don't think that there was actually junk out in the photo that they were using, but yeah, it's Afton though, so I don't really want to think about it like that, but it's also just a purple human with no face, so honestly, I'm not quite sure anymore. I'm just kind of blocking everything out of brain, okay? This one came from Squishy Draws 29 in response to Daco, and honestly, it's amazing. And at 9, Club Penguin Springtrap. Club Penguin Springtrap by Dr. Despair 2000 is probably something that would have happened if Club Penguin had stuck around for any longer. I'm sure that there would have been an outcry for FNAF to somehow get into Club Penguin if there wasn't any outcry before that, and honestly I think this is one of the funniest ways that they could have done this, okay? A couple of them are great. 1 to 5 in this collection are amazing, and the last 2 are also incredible, which is why I'm putting it on this list, because yes, the concept is weird, but also the majority of these are just horrifying, and this one is somehow fairly well made, which is also weird. Usually these things are just masses of what you put in but also not, okay? So to see them actually work out is pretty damn cool. I wonder how many times it took Dr. Despair to actually make these look good, or if this was just like the first click and then boom, because if so, that's crazy, okay? The blood on the Springtrap suit also is obviously pizza sauce and nothing else, because you know it's Club Penguin and it's a kid's game, but yeah. And at 8, Purple Guy at McDonald's. Now this one is a little tricky because I want to credit the person who made it, but they also have a load of numbers in their name, which, as I see it, is fairly common when people don't want their account to be searched easily. So I'm unsure if this is because it was the next available username, or if like they wanted to keep it on the DL. So please, if this was you, let us know with your username, and then we can add you to the description. I don't want to throw your username out there if you don't want it to be out there, and the others do have quite a few likes that you've already seen, so I feel like they're already seen, so you get it. This Purple Guy at McDonald's though is absolutely horrifying. Like if someone decided to make a claymation of Purple Guy going to get a McRib, this is what I feel like it would appear as. This is like the cursed side of YouTube, and if it were a series, it would be up there with Salad Fingers for the creep level. The eyes in the first one is just, it's so perfect that I feel like I might have to use it for the thumbnail or something similar, okay? The bottom middle is just the most cursed purple monster inside of a wrecked mall that I've ever seen. And honestly, I might have nightmares for this specific scenario now, okay? So thanks user, thanks for this horrifying nightmare fuel that I love so much that I can't look away from it. And at 7, Dreadbear. This idea actually comes from the VR YouTuber Eddie VR. Amanda and I have mentioned him before, and honestly I love his videos. However, he makes all the FNAF stands mad by giving nicknames to the animatronics, like how I make them mad when I tell them that Springtrap isn't an animatronic because he's not. He calls multiple characters by food equivalents. For example, Mangle is mangoes, Chica is Kentucky, Springtrap is tortillas, and Plushtrap is tortilla's son. He also calls Dreadbear elotes, which is Spanish for corn, because honestly, have you seen Dreadbear's teeth? They look like they're straight up a fresh cob of corn. Like, he went through the Foxy maze and just started picking up corn and shoving it down his metal interior until eventually he became a corn. It's weird, and honestly, knowing that it's his teeth kinda makes it less appetizing, but that's why he's at number 7, right? Like, I can't explain why he's higher than Bonnie, because Bonnie would actually be food. Don't come for me, PETA. But I can't explain why he's higher than Chica, you know? Because I had to get you to stay somehow. If you see number 10 and it's not something that will kind of make you open your jaw with either excitement, surprise, or lust, then you weren't gonna stick around for something as ridiculous as this list. I had to put Chica first, but I don't know why he's higher than Bonnie. And In at 6, Freddy Fazbear Chuck E. Cheese collab. This is just terrifying. I've had my fair share of references between Chuck E. Cheese and Freddy's, okay? I've made lists on how they're similar and how they modded Chucky into FNAF and how we could turn Chucky's into a real FNAF. But to put the concept in the hands of an AI is just criminal, okay? Obviously joking. But what Plushie Guy 10 made in response is extremely cursed, and mostly because the first one looks incredibly close to how I imagine Chucky would look actually in the FNAF universe. I mean, obviously a couple colors are off because he's all one color and he should have a shirt and stuff, but if you did some slight editing, this would be one of the most terrifying collaborations in history. Like, you thought that Chucky advertising their pizza as Pascali's Pizza and Wings was bad? Wait until Chuck E. Cheese kitchens start preparing the food that gets shipped out as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza whenever that gets added to Uber Eats, okay? That's honestly terrifying, but mostly because it's way too damn accurate. Halfway through into number 5, Five Nights at the Chum Bucket. After the Krusty Krab was burnt to the ground by a rogue animatronic worker, the sole living survivor of the Inferno was taken captive by the robot's malevolent controller. When the player awakes, they are to find themselves trapped and located inside the security room in the Chum Bucket. Within the first and second night, the business official who talks to the player discovers that there is another survivor who is trying to save the player. The business official then decides to allow the other survivor to come in and find the player in order to kill them both. The player once again has to survive for 6 nights like in the first game against the animatronic onslaught as they wait for their savior, the man behind the door. Get it? Because it's like the man behind the slaughter. While its predecessor game, Five Nights at the Krusty Krab, is certainly something, Five Nights at the Chum Bucket just seems even weirder. Like, why? Why would the Krusty Krab burn down if it's underwater? And why would we be kidnapped and placed in the Chum Bucket? What the ever-loving heck is going on in this godforsaken game? But you know what? 10 points for creativity. In at 4, Springtrap eating a child. I think I've said before that sometimes I understand William's whole MO, okay? Children can be absolute no filter, no morals, no sense of danger, but yeah, I'm not gonna understand Springtrap cannibalism here, okay? I mean, it kinda fits since some people assume Jeffrey Dahmer was an inspiration for William, Dahmer also being known as the Milwaukee or the Milwaukee Monster, who was an American serial killer who committed the murder and dismemberment of 17 men between 1978 and 1991, and many of his later killings involved cannibalism and the permanent preservation of body parts, typically all or part of a skeleton. So maybe Dave's Portlol used that idea as inspiration, or maybe this is like a weird kink thing that I don't entirely understand. I'm not the one who usually yucks someone's yum, but I mean like and while you may not think that Springtrap kinks are a thing, you'd be surprised, okay? There's plenty of Rule 34 art that I have been unwillingly sent on this subject that has scarred me to the very bottom of my void. Getting close to the end in number 3, The Man Behind the Slaughter. The Man Behind the Slaughter refers to a series of iconic memes referencing a line from a fan-made Five Nights at Freddy's song, It's Been So Long by the Living Tombstones. The line of The Man Behind the Slaughter describes the main antagonist of the series, William Afton, you know, the purple guy? Yeah. With memes referencing the character in one way or another, often by including the line in the caption as backup vocals. On December 4th, 2014, the Israeli YouTube musician The Living Tombstone released a single based off the plot of FNAF 2, where the chorus of the song references the main antagonist, known as the purple guy, describing him as the man behind the slaughter. The video received over 92 million views in 6 years, but with the song now having 214 million views in 8 years. Although I will admit that they still have the description labeling the FNAF series as Scott Cawthorne's creation and not Scott Cawthon's, but oh well. I've even had my own version of this meme where I posted a picture to my Instagram story of myself holding a blank piece of paper and smiling, and someone on that piece of paper put the man behind your daughter. I've never been prouder, honestly. That was like that won that meme Monday or whatever it was. Should I do more of that? That was funny. I should do more. But ultimately, number 2, Freddy Fazbear as a necromorph from Dead Space. Necromorphs are mutated corpses reshaped into horrific new forms by a recombinant extraterrestrial infection derived from the genetic code etched into the skin of the markers. The resulting creatures are extremely aggressive and will attack any uninfected organism on sight. The sole purpose of all necromorphs is to acquire more bodies to convert and spread the infection. They are believed to be some of the heralds of humanity's ascension, but on a more practical level, they're an extremely dangerous result of exposure to the enigmatic devices known as the markers, alright? Imagine all of what I just said if you could manage to understand it because you've played Dead Space, as Freddy Fazbear, and then boom, you have this horrifically beautiful monstrosity from Violet Chan Main. This is absolutely terrifying. It's like Freddy mixed with one of the monsters from The Quiet Place. But like, actually, that's a good prompt. Let me write that down. Okay, yep, writing that down. But honestly, I don't think that if this was real in any game that I'd ever be able to sleep again. This is terrifying, this is earth-shattering, this is the purest form of nightmare fuel that I have ever seen. If this was the scariest Dolly FNAF images, it would be #1, but it's the weirdest. And you know what? I've given them a prompt that, in my eyes, is weirder. So yeah, we're gonna go with that one. And finally, into #1, Mr. Hippo competing on American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, that's right, okay? The answer to yesterday's FNAF AI image monstrosity guessing game, Mr. Hippo competing on American Ninja Warrior, was such a ridiculously stupid and funny prompt that I had to do it, okay? I've been watching American Ninja Warrior since like the summer of 2013, and honestly, it's been a driving force behind my life ever since. I spent my 18th birthday at a Ninja Warrior gym, I've learned how to do the salmon ladder, and one day, hopefully at some point, I'll compete on it. Maybe as a special guest if I can get popular enough because I'm not American. Or if they make a Canadian Ninja Warrior, which they definitely should, you know, I'm gonna be on that as the Canadian Captain NBC. However, I do have to admit something. The prompt I gave to generate that image was Purple Hippo Robot competing on American Ninja Warrior, because technically when I put Mr. Hippo, it just gave me like a normal hippo, okay? Like Moto Moto from Madagascar 2, and you know, it didn't feel right to me. Purple Hippo competing just gave me purple hippos with no actual background, so I added the robot in there and then suddenly boom, perfect for some reason. This is most definitely cursed, but trust me, the prompt for tomorrow is going to change the way you look at life. Also, go vote on our community post about what you want to see more of in community posts, because I want to be able to interact with people more than just on my social media when I complain about stuff, okay? I don't own the channel. There's only so much I can do. Go vote on that so I know. And at 10, Chica. Stop. Don't even think about it. This isn't a weird Rule 34 thing. This is legitimately because Chica is a chicken, and chicken is delicious. Sorry, PETA. Even if she isn't a real chicken, the character is still meant to be a chicken, so by proxy, chicken would taste normal, right? At least in the dimension where the character originates from. If we subscribe to the Many Worlds theory, much how like you should subscribe to the channel, what a segue, but there is a universe out there where the animatronics that we know from the FNAF franchise are real-life organic beings set on the destruction of humans, and there's another where we all live peacefully. There is also a universe where William Afton is real and I'm the one fighting him. No matter what, Chica is a chicken, and no matter what you say or want to interpret it with your fan art, there is nothing that can change the fact that she is literally a chicken. Her name is Chica the chicken. It's chicken. Chicken is good for the most part. And at 9, Ballora. Okay, there is no real safe way to say this, so I might as well go all in. Cannibalism is a real thing that people partake in. It's not a thing made up for video games, movies, or TV. People do it. We know that. There are famous serial killers that have famously eaten bits of human flesh. And if Ballora was real, cannibals would enjoy a nice home-cooked meal. On the other hand, and this applies to all of the animatronics, people eat metal. There is one man, known as Mr. Eatsall, who literally would eat anything. Somehow he was able to eat nuts, bolts, screws, light bulbs, an entire plane. Not joking, okay? This dude was a powerhouse. He literally brings his own things to restaurants so that they could add it to his plate. He ate a plane, he would eat bikes, he will finish his wine and then eat the glass no problem. He would have a field day when it comes to Ballora. This guy had eaten 18 bikes, 15 shopping carts, 7 TVs, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds and a pair of skis, a coffin, steel chain, and a partridge in a pear tree. But he can't eat bananas because it will give him heartburn. Literally. Unfortunately, Michel Lotito died at the age of 57 of natural causes. Yeah, this guy ate metal and glass for 41 years and died of natural causes. This list is dedicated to you, my man. And it ain't Bonnie. Bonnie is a rabbit, because bunnies and rabbits are the same thing, so don't flip your crap in the comments. Anyway, rabbits, while not being as common as chicken, they're still regularly eaten as dinner, on a less regular basis no doubt, but honestly I've had days where my girlfriend has brought home rabbit that she cooked in class. The taste is nearly the same to me, but I don't have that advanced of a palate, but it's literally meat, okay? Food is food, no matter what. Rabbit, while slightly gamier, is also as common as chicken. It's honestly weird that 50% of the original animatronics were actually regularly eaten, almost as if Scott intended for us to make this list. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't eat a purple rabbit, but I mean, if it was necessary and I was going to starve to death, I would honestly not think twice. Especially if we're in that universe where the animatronics are real organic beings instead of animatronics. I'm speaking about if these animatronics were real and not just the way they are with the robot parts and everything. Except for number 6. I said Namber. Whatever. And at 7, Springtrap and Sans kissing. Remember the cringiest FNAF ships list? Well, here we go again. And due to how the community reacts with these sorts of things, that being very strongly all the time, I'm going to omit this username as well, because I know that there's a lot of fans who are very passionate with what they believe in. At least, we'll go with that definition. And I don't want this person to be attacked online, okay? I'm gonna say what I said last number, so if you want it to be credited, then let us know. We'll put it in. I'm also gonna say what I said last time I brought up this ship, because honestly, this is worse than almost anything on this list. Why are you shipping Springtrap with Ness? How the ever-loving hell would that even work? I don't know if this is a joke or not. Who thought of this? Who made this idea come to life? Sans is like a 2-foot-tall skeleton boy, and Springtrap is a dead serial killer who has taken more lives than Sans has lived years. Plus, I get that he's been set on fire multiple times, but Springtrap isn't hot, okay? That's like people who send serial killers proposals in the mail. How? Obviously this is all jokes, because they're both fictional characters, but I don't understand. I'm not a shipper, unless it's me and Chica, but that's also jokes. And at 6, Drink Clowns. Lemonade Clown and Fruit Punch Clown make their appearance in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, also known as FNAF 6. The clowns are basically giant bulbs of their respective drink, and they disperse these drinks with any drink machine would, but this time it's coming from their body instead of some tank that nobody can see. It's slightly terrifying when you think about it, but it also makes some of the most sense on this list. The others may be iffy, but this one is pretty damn solid. Well, I guess technically it's a liquid, so I shouldn't be joking about that. It's a very important matter. Haha! Look at me go with my terrible jokes and horrifying sense of humor. Oh, you weren't laughing? Why the hell not? We're talking about clowns, aren't we? Clowns are funny and not scary in the slightest. I mean, I see a clown every time I go back to my hometown. And no, I don't mean because most people in that town are jokes. Oh boy, that got aggressive. I wonder what could have done that to me. This lemonade is great, by the way. Thanks, Lemonade Clown. Halfway through and at number 5, Swiggity Swooty. Foxy in FNAF 1 was quite the fast boy. Foxy is unique in the way that he will emerge from Pirate's Cove faster or slower depending on how often the player looks at that specific camera. If the player opens the camera too little, he will emerge faster until he has actually left the cove. Once he does, he runs down the West Hall and into the office. However, the scene of him running on the camera instantly made its way into FNAF fame since we all started making jokes about him running for that birthday cake. And no, I don't mean the kind with candles, batter, and icing. The Swiggity Swooty coming for that booty meme itself was actually separate to Running Foxy, but the two ended up combining into one of the most iconic memes of all time. At least in FNAF verse fan world thing. And you know what? Recently, that's how I'm reacting if I see that Chica KFC double bucket booty. So I understand you, Foxy. I get you. Or maybe he was just trying to run away from Roxy's toxic ass. And at 4, Shamrock Freddy. Being Irish, I do have a special place in my heart for Shamrock Freddy. He'll never come after me, Lucky Charms. Shamrock Freddy is a skin for the Freddy animatronic that appears in FNAF AR Special Delivery and was added on March 12th, 2020 in time for the St. Patty's Day of the worst year ever. His appearance is fairly similar to that of regular Freddy, except being colored entirely green, as you can see here. Oh wait, that's awkward. Forgot I was on a green screen. Well, I guess you'll just have to imagine it, unless the editor decided to put a picture of it to make me look ridiculous while saying this. The only difference about him and normal Freddy is the color, basically. But why would he be tasty, you say, with the confused look on your face? Well, Shamrock Shake. Duh. I've never actually had a Shamrock Shake because up until this year I always forgot about it, but hey, everyone who has had it tells me it's delicious and hopefully they're not joking, otherwise I'm going to look even more ridiculous in this number. Getting close to the end and in number 3, Five Nights at the Car. The description of this game okay, is, hey bro, thanks for doing this job. You are a 10-year-old kid who is in the car at the mall waiting for your mom, but weird things want to kill you, so your job is to protect yourself from them. If you're hearing this, you're crazy. What? This thing is so absurdly bad, it hurts me. The game, if I can even call it that, is literally just a PNG file. And it looks absolutely atrocious. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I know it takes a lot to make a game. But I could make a game better than this. This isn't even a game. It's a picture. It's multiple pictures. This is just a cardinal sin of humanity, and it needs to be put down. I hope this was a joke. Because if not, this is why William Afton started killing. And at 2, Chocolate Bonnie. Chocolate Bonnie is kinda like an issue for me if I'm being honest. I'll lick the icing off a cupcake and hear it scream as I close my jaw around its face, but I would get a Chocolate Bunny every year for Easter and whenever I could get one for myself. Specifically, the Mr. Munchie that had the Rice Krispie-like things in it. Not sponsored, but I wish it was. And those rice-filled chocolate bunnies were some of the best memories I have. I love how some of my best memories I have from childhood are about eating chocolate bunnies. Says a lot, eh? Well, no matter, this kind of presents a crossroads. The chocolate bunny is an Easter skin for Bonnie from FNAF AR, but it's like, why does this thing need to be a thing? It's clearly chocolate because we don't see any of the robotic parts inside when looking in the hole on its side, but is it just chocolate? Could I pull a Scooby-Doo and eat my way out of this thing if it catches me and shoves it into its stomach? Does it have a stomach, or like the animatronic equivalent of one? I don't know anymore. It would still be tasty. Is it milk or dark chocolate? Finally, in at number 1, Toy Chica. Hey, mommy! Do I really need to say anything more?
Number 10, FNAF Go. So this game has not actually been finished, but it is a thing that has a page on GameJolt. The page for it describes it as a FNAF fan game inspired by Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Oddly enough, it's not the only FNAF fan game I've seen that has made reference to Pokemon, which is a little weird, but also kind of makes sense, I guess. Although this one obviously would like to do a lot more to blend those two worlds together. As weird as it sounds, this is basically what we got with Special Delivery, which a lot of people love. So although it's definitely still a weird premise for a game, it also seems to be a profitable one. But hey, just because something is weird, doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad idea. I think it's important that we, say that just because we're calling something weird doesn't mean we're calling it bad. But sometimes we're also calling it bad.
Coming in at number 9, Purple Guy Simulator. Purple Guy Simulator isn't exactly the weirdest game. I mean, it's been something that I was actually asking for, but I preferred it in VR. But straight up, I love the fact that there is a Purple Guy Simulator. Going around to Freddy's Pizzeria, killing kids and shoving their bodies into animatronic suits until you get caught by the cops is certainly something that I find blissful. It's relaxing, running around trying to find a kid who's alone so you can shove a knife in their chest and then try to hide their body before any other kid or parents can find it. Great. My biggest question though is, why do parents keep bringing their kids to these restaurants if children keep going missing there? Like, who thought that the continued attendance to Freddy Fazbear's was a good idea? Hell, if someone sneezed the wrong way, somewhere, my father would prevent us from stepping foot within the same block as whatever that establishment was on. Given the current situation, it would have been reasonable, but like when I was 8, it certainly wasn't. But like, either way, I'm dressed as the purple guy for a reason. I love this game.
Number 8, Bonnie Simulator. Speaking of weird yet cathartic simulators, here's another one for you, Bonnie Simulator. Like Connor, I too find this game both strange and delightful. But while Purple Guy Simulator is a game that I think many of us wanted in a weird way, I'm not sure if anyone was demanding a Bonnie Simulator, and yet I cannot deny it's pretty fun. The question that the creator of this game has been asked before is, why do we just play as Bonnie in the simulator, which takes place during FNAF 1? Why none of the other animatronics? Well, that's because they only had so much time to make this sim, and Bonnie is their favorite animatronic. I can't fault them for that. Although I gotta say, I would love to see their take on a Foxy sim, as Foxy is my favorite animatronic.
And it's 7, Chica and me. I mean, this was just a meme for me, in all honesty. This is just a number for me. I mean, to go back to the Tastiest Animatronics video, that video was all for me to make a joke about how Toy Chica was tasty. People have drawn fan art where I am posing with Chica on my lap. I make countless jokes about how Chica and I are the only true FNAF ship that you should be shipping, and it's true. Chica and me is one of the most iconic FNAF memes for me. This is like the best meme in my mind, because Chica's my girl, okay? So stay away. Eddie VR, back up, alright? Chica's mine. You can have Roxy. I don't care about Roxy. You can have Roxy. Okay? Fight for her with Juicy or something. Because, like, Chica is the only robotic female who wants me. And I'm not giving that up. Screw what I wrote in the script. It's not happening.
Number 6. Day Shift at Freddy's. Wow, this is a weird game for so many reasons. But even as we discussed as early as point 10 on this list, weird isn't always bad. This game is definitely weird, but it's also definitely great. In this game, you play as an entertainer slash Freddy's general staff member who walked around inside the spring-locked suit at Freddy's location entertaining children. Of course, it's not all fun and games. Not only is there a lot to watch out for and a lot of work to be done, but there's also some fan-related jokes within this game that are pretty hilarious and also hilariously bizarre. Basically, Day Shift at Freddy's has got it all, and if you haven't experienced this bizarre gem, I highly recommend you go over to Game Jolt and do so now. Although, fair warning, it is a mature game. Day Shift at Freddy's is also only one game within its own franchise, so there's also more to play if you fall in love with it.
Halfway through into number 5, Freddy Fazbear fighting Shrek in Walmart. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see Freddy Fazbear throw it down with Shrek in the middle of Walmart's frozen food section, but Jesus Christ, did this have to be so goddamn cursed? The bottom left definitely looks like Freddy just got thrown up against the shelves, and then one of them, they're just like taking a selfie. That's weird. I feel like this is the story of like Freddy and Shrek meeting and then wanting to take a selfie, but then maybe I'm guessing Shrek goes all Ezra Miller mode and just starts wailing on Freddy for whatever reason. Or maybe Freddy went nuts because, you know, he's possessed, and then Shrek decided to put that stupid robot in his place. Maybe Freddy asked him to do the roar, because it definitely looks like Shrek won, and that's the kind of rage Shrek would need to win that. The story that I'm seeing here is that they met, they took a selfie, Freddy morphed into looking like Shrek for whatever reason, and then, just like Disney when you even mention their songs, Shrek copyright claimed his ass so fast that Freddy died. So, thank you Apple 47 Bad for this beautiful masterpiece and wonderful story.
Number 4. Five Nights in Anime. I mean, I know the people's love of animatronics can get a little weird. Well, it can get a lot weird. But even I was surprised to learn that this game existed. And I've seen a lot of fan art for this franchise. A lot. I thought I'd seen it all, but apparently I hadn't. Enter Five Nights in Anime. This is a game that was created to parody Five Nights at Freddy's. Instead of you being a security guard at Freddy's, you've been hired as a late night security guard at an anime convention, and it's up to you to watch these anime girl style animatronic versions of the Freddy's cast. We've still got the core cast of animatronics here with a few original additions, but they're all just stylized as well-endowed anime ladies. Because I guess why not? I think the really weird thing about this game is how many people seem to want more of it and want a version that leans more into this genre seriously, as opposed to being a parody. Even though it's firmly stated like this is just a joke, it's just a parody. Yikes.
And at 3, the cupcake. Do I really need to say anything here? The cupcake is its own animatronic, which I am correcting from a long time ago in a list about scariest animatronics or something like that, I don't know. We do plenty of FNAF videos because the FNAF videos do better than anything else on the channel. Like, we know we milk it, but they keep doing well, so we're gonna keep making more. But if you can't get enough of FNAF and love the series as much as us, click up in the top right corner because we have a playlist of almost 90 videos now. It's nuts. Over 13 hours of FNAF content for you to enjoy. But the cupcake animatronic is literally the only pure food item from any of the main FNAF games. It's literally a cupcake. Yes, it would technically in a way be sentient since it hops around the room in FNAF VR while repairing Chica, but you know what? The sentience makes it better. Make it more personal. I want to hear the cupcake scream as I devour its interior and delicious and sticky icing. Damn, this is really good lemonade. Yo, Lemonade Clown, what's up?
Number 2, Five Nights in Anime 2. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Five Nights in Anime has a sequel. Oh boy, and the hits just keep on coming. Also, I should note that this is also not the only sequel to this game. I believe there's also a sister location version of this, which I think, you know, Circus Baby, I guess that's what we all want. I don't know. This version of Five Nights in Anime is even more bizarre, as it's really just more of the same stuff with the same tropes, but this time parodying, you guessed it, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. My question is, if this is a parody in the exact same vein, did we really need a sequel? Didn't we already get through the joke? Although I will say, having played a bit of these games, they're actually pretty well put together. I don't know what's happening here, but there must have been people asking for this sequel, as it is a thing that we got. Also, let's just take a second to acknowledge that the first Five Nights in Anime got 3.5 million downloads, whereas Five Nights in Anime 2 got 1.8 million. So you guys are all out there, so just tell me in the comments what's happening.
And finally, in at number 1, Five Nights of Love. Ah yes, the game that I didn't know existed, but had a feeling it would. This game actually inspired this whole list, and I didn't even know it was real until I looked it up. So that just goes to show what this fan base is like. But I figured if KFC has a dating sim, FNAF must have one too, right? And it absolutely does. Yeah, you heard me right. Five Nights at Freddy's dating sim. You love shipping animatronics with everything, living or not. With a human trapped in a suit or even just a pile of trash, you'll still ship it. And it's disturbing. But this time, you get to decide who makes the cut in Five Nights of Love. Tracking via cameras the rooms of the public place, whatever this place is, a player will periodically meet the live toys of the animatronics of Chica, Foxy, Freddy, and Balloon Boy. With every one of them, the player can have a heart-to-heart talk, or they can hug these unfortunate freaks, as the game puts it, giving them all of their love and attention. Thanks to this treatment, the level of the toys' love towards you will only increase by 5 or 10%, unfortunately. But when it's me, it's gonna be higher. But as consequence, the level of your energy will decrease by 10 or 25%. Once your energy is done, you have to return to the office and then start the next day. And partially, the player can refill their energy at Balloon Boy by 50% at once or something like that, if you're lucky. I don't know how it works. But over a period of 5 days, you're supposed to make these animatronics as happy as possible, earning bonus scores for that. The more points you get, the more successfully you've completed the game. Why is this a thing? In at 10, Sky Daddy Scott. Yeah, this is at the top of the list because frankly, this isn't really a meme in the FNAF community, more just on this channel, okay? But during the pandemic, I started referring to Scott Cawthon as Sky Daddy Scott, since he was in essence the god of FNAF, being, the creator and all that. But this started one random video when I asked him to actually let me help out in making a real FNAF, and I did address him as Sky Daddy Scott. There's not much else to it, but since then, I've used it many more times. There's not really much else to discuss about the topic, but yeah, Sky Daddy Scott, please put me in the FNAF movie at some point, or even just as a reference, because I've suffered a lot for this series. Or maybe not, because apparently we're known for getting people mad over the top 10 worst FNAF fan games video, which was very clearly a joke. I don't know why you people are gonna take us seriously after we made the top 10 tastiest FNAF animatronics. This whole channel is basically a comedy channel now, okay? These are all jokes. This video is also a joke. We're not serious. God. I'm gonna make another one of those videos, but then put everyone's favorite fan games. In at 9, Vent Gregory. Gregory, do you see that small vent on the floor? Have you heard of Among Us, Gregory? You need to vent. I know it will be hard for you to be sus, but I know you can do it, Gregory. This meme was all over the fanverse internet over the time, or after the time when Security Breach had just released, and it was kind of resurged when it was coming out on Xbox. The instance this is revolving around is obviously when you're in the stage section of the game where you're guiding Freddy through the doors after he gets his second wind. When Roxy and Monty are pounding on the doors and you can shock them with the buttons, and then Vanny's watching you and you have a timer. Yeah. To get out of that room, Freddy makes his way to a vent beneath you and then tells you to jump in once he pulls the grate off, which in the scene where this meme generates from, obviously. The joke comes from the venting mechanic in Among Us that only imposters could do, which is why the term sus was repopularized when the game went big over in November of 2020, despite the game releasing in 2018. I remember that very well. We were all about Among Us at that point. We even took a break from FNAF to do it, so yeah. In at 8, Dawko meme review. Dawko's meme review is oddly enough a meme within itself. For the purposes of this video, let's talk about some of the memes that have come from Dawko, like the YouTuber. On September 16th, 2020, while he was watching a live stream for PlayStation 5, he was shocked that a trailer of the new FNAF game Security Breach was finally out. At first, Dawko didn't actually believe that it was FNAF, even though it was literally an official PlayStation event, until he saw a cutout of Monty, one of the you know who Monty is. After seeing the cutout, he overreacted for almost a minute and then actually ended up almost fainting. After this reaction, memes started to trend about his eccentricness. Dawko also ended up getting into a friendly competition with Scott Cawthon. The two made a bet for where if he played 50-20 mode in Ultimate Custom Night and gave up, he would have to make a game called FNAF 5 where he praises Scott and goes on about how great he is. If Dawko won, however, he would have won an interview with Scott Cawthon, and for several weeks, Dawko painstakingly streamed 50-20 mode only to constantly fail. However, on July 8th, 2018, Dawko managed to successfully beat 50-20 mode, and upon hitting 6 AM, he broke down screaming and crying with joy live on stream. Sometime later, Dawko got his interview with Scott, and then this is where the whole, like, we know that FNAF 3 was supposed to be the end thing happened. Coming in at number 7, Five Nights at YouTube Office. How would you feel working at the YouTube home office? I'm sure plenty of you would think that that would be a dream come true. However, apparently, at least according to this game, please don't sue us YouTube, apparently there are YouTubers that sleepwalk into the office, and there are also certain YouTubers that haunt the office, whatever that means, since from what I can tell, all these YouTubers are still alive at the time of recording, and certainly at the time the game was made. Basically, this game works as a FNAF 2 clone with YouTubers instead of the animatronics, where PewDiePie is the puppet. Understandably. Having to wind a music box to get him to stay chill. Because if you don't, you'll get the ultimate bro fist to the face and then get cancelled for associating yourself with PewDiePie. That's right, the imminent threat in this game isn't death, it's cancellation. Social death. In at 6, FNAF World. FNAF World is an indie role-playing video game created by Scott Cawthon, and it was the first official spin-off of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and the first RPG in the series, and the 5th game overall, although we ignore it now. The game was released for Microsoft Windows on January 21st, 2016, and on Android on January 12th, 2017, but came with unfinished gameplay and a large amount of bugs. Wonder what that's like. Leading to a bad reception overall and ultimately the decision to remove the game from digital storefronts. On February 8th, 2016, the game was updated and re-released on GameJolt free of charge. But despite the re-release, the community still ultimately wiped this game from memory, resulting in it living in infamy amongst the FNAF canon. And while the game is written off by most fans, its secret story mode actually puts the pieces in place for us to find the clues in FNAF 3 that unlock the good ending. So I guess FNAF World is still kinda canon, but this is still seen as a meme and something that most of the community, including Scott, wants to forget about. Halfway through at number 5, Gumball Swivel Hand. Gumball Swivel Hands is one of the FNAF 6 animatronics obtained at Stan's Budget Tech for $125 of in-game currency, obviously. Could you imagine if it was real money, like this game was just gonna be one giant cash grab like any mobile game or EA game? Well, Gumball is literally what he sounds like, a gumball machine with a face and rotating hands, which gives it its name. He has a propeller hat and kinda looks like he just drank a gallon of paint. His chest is a gumball dispenser and his head is a bowl full of gumballs colored red, green, blue, purple, yellow, and orange. And from the looks, pink, but it's not listed on the wiki, so that could just be the light reflecting off the animatronic. I'm not entirely sure. I saw pink. I could just be going crazy. Other than the dispenser and the head and arms, Gumball doesn't really have much of a body, only being supported by a pole like any other gumball dispenser. Talk about having a pole up your am I right? In at 4, you're supposed to be on lockdown. Personally, I think this is like my favorite of the FNAF memes, and one that reached a more mainstream audience than the other ones thanks to the TikTok algorithm. But unfortunately, despite never having talked about FNAF on my TikTok until this point, I still had to deal with this scene from Security Breach where Gregory hides in the med booth while Vanessa yells at Freddy. The meme, however, comes from what Freddy says after Vanessa tells him that he should be on lockdown. They go from screaming "Vanessa" to "But Vanessa, I'm a material girl," and everything in between. And yes, I did end up making a couple myself. My favorite one being Officer Vanessa, I was just looking up Chica Rule 34. Because let's be honest, if it exists in this world, there is almost certainly art for it in the FNAF universe as well. Hell, there's probably someone on Etsy making like a Chica themed flashlight. And yes, I said flashlight, like as in one for illuminating dark areas, you nasties, and the other one. But you know what, in reality, the meme still isn't entirely dead, since the whole Vanessa one pops up on my For You page every now and then, and you know what, it's kind of annoying. No, it's very annoying. Getting close to the end in number 3, William Afton kissing Springtrap. This is why? Another name I'm going to cut for fear of accidentally flaming them. This William Afton kissing Springtrap generated image is one of the most confusing things that I think I could ever see. Like, is this thing about like Springtrap not being William? Is that the theory that's going on here? Because if so, the only other person associated with that character is Michael, and that's William's son. However, a lot of these are Springtrap on Springtrap action, so hopefully it's not the thought process, but at least the AI knows the proper FNAF lore. Or maybe this is supposed to be, you know, a more positive message. Maybe it's a message about self-love and how we should all love ourselves no matter what other people say about us. And you know what? I agree with that sentiment to an extent. I mean, William certainly doesn't deserve love. I mean, this guy is a serial killer, and who knows what else. And I know a few people who have absolutely done me wrong and still haven't realized it, despite literally everyone else in my life agreeing that what I've been saying is in fact correct. So I don't think that those people deserve to love themselves until they become better people, and William is never going to change, okay? It's been over 50 years in the games, and he's seemingly died or nearly died multiple times with no change of heart. So, yeah, no love for him. That's a bad idea. Ultimately, in at number 2, I Always Come Back. I Always Come Back was really a meme before the line was even uttered in the series. First being introduced in FNAF 3's trailer with the line, "If he will come back, he always does," and then getting the now iconic line of "I always come back" in FNAF Ultimate Custom Night. Spring Trap or Scrap Trap or Burn Trap or whatever trap he will end up returning at some point or another. And while the meme is frustratingly accurate, I want it to stop, okay? I've said multiple times how he needs to stop coming back and just actually die. It's like the games are a toxic ex and William just for some reason can't stay away because he's getting lonely. But then again, that's what Ballora was for, I suppose. I want Afton to die and stay dead for good, okay? I've expressed this in countless videos, and like, I feel like a rich mother who's donated to a school that she wants her son to get into, okay? I've made so many FNAF videos that I feel like maybe I should have some input. Like, just kill him off and let me be a simp over the baddie Vanny, please. And finally, in at number 1, you knew it was coming, Buff Helpy. This meme created by Thominius_ on Twitter is just absolutely cursed. Buff Helpy was made for Daco's Five Nights at Freddy's meme review series and first appeared in episode 2. And since then, it is like, oh god. He made a joke in the video where he pretends to be terrified of it, and then people started sending him tons of memes about Buff Helpy, and it only has since spread from there, leading to Buff Helpy even getting his own spin-off game. Yeah, he even has his own Urban Dictionary page that labels him as a, let's say, traitor to his country who loves stalking the YouTuber Daco and somehow always makes his way into Daco's FNAF meme reviews, followed by the use of the term "in Buff Helpy is best boy." And this entire thing was posted by Buff Helpy Enthusiast. And you know what? Buff Helpy has also haunted me. I hadn't seen any Daco meme reviews, okay? So I was luckily oblivious to this meme. However, people just started randomly sending it to me on Instagram, and since then, it's kind of of scared me. It's certainly better than what some other people have been sending me, but I mean, like, it's not the best thing I've been sent either. And at 5, the fan shirt. The most terrifying thing in any of the FNAF games is the inevitable fan that is always blasting you with cold air while you sweat your nuts off hiding from animatronics. It was probably meant to provide ambient noise so you're not sitting there in complete silence while you hear the faint laughs and chuckles of animatronics in the distance. It's supposed to be gargles, but I said chuckles. Whatever. But the combination of it and that damn light bulb just end up making things much more intense. Like, what is that noise? Where is it coming from? Oh, it's just that godforsaken fan in the background. And now people are putting it on shirts and selling it to people for them to wear on their bodies. Why would you put this thing anywhere near your heart? The next thing you know, it's gonna be crawling into your chest cavity and laying eggs. Or it will just start chipping away like a lawnmower. Yeah, that's what lawnmowers are, just a giant metal fan that will cut anything it comes in contact with that isn't a rock. You know what rocks break? Bones. You know what bones won't break? A rock. A lawnmower will cut your hand clean off like some Final Destination shit. And this fan will do that to your chest so fast you'll be crying for Freddy Fazbear to come rescue your ass. And at 4, Twisted Ones Pop Figures. Don't get me wrong, I love pop figures, but I get pops about series that don't have things that want to kill me because they were killed in a children's pizzeria, then got stuffed into an animatronic suit, then possess them in order to enact revenge on the one who put them there, but when they think that they've done it, he dismantles them and melts them down into soul-infused metal that gives his son a new life with the life that he took away from those kids. Essentially, why would I want murderous animatronic animals to be sitting on my shelf waiting for me to fall asleep so that they can get the chance to finish what they couldn't in the game? The Golden Fredbear plush I'd understand because, you know, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere, but the scariest pop figures of them all are for sure from the novel The Twisted Ones. These animatronics are meant to capture kids using sound illusion discs that make them look amazing, when in reality, they're terrifying and horrific. They bury themselves during the day and at night they come out and hunt for prey. Nocturnal, horrific monster animatronics that want to eat kids? I don't freaking think so. How on earth am I supposed to be cool with me putting these on my shelf, even if I leave it in the box? Yeah, that's right, I take my pops out of the box because I don't care about the value if I'm not gonna sell them. Right now I only have like 3 still left in the box, and that's out of at least 55 pop figures right now. The Golden Doctor Strange, since the fans voted that he be made gold, so that's probably gonna be worth a lot, and the 2 paintable Bob Rosses from the last Fan Expo Canada. And so help me, if this one gets cancelled, I'm gonna riot. They already canceled Comic-Con on me. Don't do it to Fan Expo. Don't do me that dirty. Or don't do me dirty with Fan Expo. Don't do me that dirty sounds weird. And at 3, Halloween masks. The Halloween masks are now officially canon. I mean, sure, the big kids were wearing them in the end of FNAF 4 when Michael Afton gets bitten and dies, but like, holy ever-loving hell are these things creepy in real life. They were bad in Hell Wanted, especially because if you didn't wear the right one, you died, but still, IRL, these things are GMMSMPIIGTDCBLATUF. Got it in one. And it means these things are gonna make me shit my pants if I get too damn close, because look at these ugly fricks. But no, seriously, look at them, because the mask's just hanging on the rack with like the fabric or rubber head, but with the plastic face is terrifying, and I don't understand why the whole thing can't just be rubber or plastic. Like, pick one. Like, the scariest thing about this to me is that these damn things are such a waste of material. Like, sure, the Helpy mask is funny because buff Helpy, but that one was made of all plastic. These are a mixture of both. And I'm sure that other ones are being shown as well, probably ones that make more sense, but they're all creepy. Why would I want to put the face of a character that has a dead child stuffed inside of them on my face? By proxy, that means that I am the dead child who was killed by Afton, who is now suffering for eternity with no damn reason. Also, I've seen a lot of people thinking that Springtrap and Scraptrap are different. I need to clear this up, they're not. Pink Guy is Purple Guy is William Afton, who is Springtrap, who is Scraptrap. Why would Spring and Scraptrap be different? Like, Scraptrap is a scrap of Springtrap. Like, Springtrap didn't die in the fire of Fazbear Fright, and that's why he pops out at the end of what Michael was saying. Not because Michael is Springtrap, but it was Scott showing us that Springtrap is still alive. Also, why would Scraptrap be another person? We've only seen one Springlock Golden Bonnie suit, and it is Springtrap. And he hadn't been destroyed, so he had to be lured to the pizzeria simulator to burn with the rest, and he got sent to the depths of hell. Hence why Henry in the proper ending mentions his old friend. Got it? Good. Hopefully the people who think that are actually watching. Cause if not, I just explained myself, and you already know. So, I'm sorry. And at 2, Mexican Jumbo Animatronic Twisted Golden Freddy 9 Five Nights at Freddy's exclamation mark. The title is long as hell because that is what the actual eBay listing is called and I'm not changing it. If you haven't been scared by anything on this list, prepare to change your mind. This action figure is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire existence. Golden Nightmare Fredbear, but he removed the top 3/4 of his face like Withered Bonnie. Has growths of some sort of substance all over him, has 3 sets of teeth in his torn stomach, 2 of which are bottom rows, and has a Nightmare Bonnie puppet with its own like separated in the middle second jaw. Sure, you can put its face back, but that doesn't make it any better. And why does it need to be listed as Mexican? Like, what about this makes it required? I see no stereotypes associated with this. Oh, it's just that the seller is based in Mexico. I mean, like, why put that at the beginning of the title though? We can see where it's coming from. Oh jeez, Rick. And there's the link to prove it. Mexican Jumbo Animatronic Twisted Golden Freddy 9 FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's. And that has a space and an exclamation mark. Like, why put the space then the exclamation mark? Just move it back 1. Like, the item ID for this is shorter. God. Finally, in at number 1, Mexican Animatronic Twisted Springtrap Figure 8 FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Holy ever loving heck. This is one of the most terrifying things I have ever seen curse my eyeballs since I walked in on my Aunt Denise and my great Aunt Harriet. This is not only horrifying, but inaccurate. While sure the face being shown could be Afton's because we don't know what he looks like aside from a shadow of purple, why is his head Fredbear? Springtrap is a golden springlock Bonnie, so why is the head for the Twisted Springtrap Freddy? Sure, the Twisted animatronics are twisted, but there is no way even Scott would throw that much of a curveball like this into the game, books, or hell, even FNAF World, and we all know what FNAF World really was. Oh, never mind again. Turns out that I'm just a dingus because I didn't scroll through the pictures, and turns out I'm wrong. It is Bonnie's head.